question, what can Mwananchi do despite all this?
Before I say what Mwananchi can do, I want to refute or counter Mzalendo when he said that Ruto's government is a baby just born and they need to drink milk before they can walk. I think he's forgetting that Ruto said he is the best person to continue the Big Five because he has been the deputy president for 10 years. So he is an old dog. Hajalazaliwa sahi. Yeye amepata ta ameolewa na kila kitu. He was the vice or deputy for 10 years. And he said himself, we can get clips that I am the best person to continue. So he's not studying, he's not learning, unless he was sleeping on the job, which he said he wasn't. Actually, he said the projects that Uhuru was doing were his, he just wasn't getting credit. So, let us not treat Kenyans like they are not intelligent or they don't remember, because those clips are available. So let's start there. And then Ruto has had every chance to create employment. But ile wanataka kukula, I mean, I think what they, siku ile alisema, now we are back, we are tuko vizuri, he meant himself. Amerecoup zile pesa zote, alikuwa ametumia. Sasa akisema, we are good now, yeye anamaanisha yeye mwenyewe. Kenyans are not understanding, they are thinking he's talking about the country, but he's talking about himself. Because I believe by now he's really good. Na sasa he's playing on extra now. However they've been going out of the country, all those trips, all those allowances. You know, if he had tried, I don't think people would complain. You know, we are not stupid. Sisi watoto. Kuna very intelligent people in Kenya. And people don't just complain. You know, they talk to us like we are kindergarten children. They insult us so much, our intelligence. People are complaining because they can see waste. They don't see any attempt to try. That is why we are complaining. It's not because we are unreasonable. When you travel all the time, like why did they even have to go to the Queen's, was it her death? Just after a week after they were, instead of sitting down and planning government, and that time the economy was really bad. Do you think if they had sent an apology, they would have they would have really been admired? Had even easy trips zote anaendanga kama tu anaweza waambia hao watu, we can't come right now, we are having an economic crisis. Hata anaweza pewa free money and save the trip and say, you know what we are going to do? Mzalendo kule unakaa, uko na watoto. Hao watoto huenda shule. Does that school have a nurse? There are so many ways we can create jobs in Kenya. Those are rhetoric questions. I don't need you to answer. What I'm saying,
but you know, I sometimes you think that Kenya got independence 100 years ago.
Let me finish. No, let me speak. Hizo pesa zote tuna waste. Now, please let me finish. And that is why I say, let us not insult. Let us talk honestly. That's why sometimes I hate to come. Mi sipendi kuongea mtu I don't like politics. In order to solve this problem, we have to talk facts. With all the money that is being wasted, we can employ nurses in each school. Instead of building houses, forcing people to build houses. There are people who like condos because maybe they are single parents. They don't want the expense of taking care of a yard. Kuna watu wanapenda kukaa pahali kuna maua, wanapanda vitu. So you cannot build houses for people. Let people build their own houses because they are intelligent. They know what they want. Just give them a conducive environment to make money, and then they will decide how to spend their money. If they want a condo, they will build a condo. If they want a townhome, they will build a townhome. If they want a single family house, they will see. If they want a multi-family house, if they want a mansion, if they want a duplex, they will do it themselves, not the government behind behind them. Easy houses zinabuildiwa ziko supposed kukuwa za poor. Anybody earning like 30,000 and below, nothing else. Wengine watajipanga as long as they have money in their pockets. How do you even decentralize Nairobi so that it is not so congested with people looking for work? How about creating each county to have school buses? How many teachers, how many drivers are you going to employ to take children to school? Watoto unajua ni wangapi wanarepiwa or disappear on their way to school? Why can't we work on buying those buses and putting children to go to school safely and come back home safely? How about giving those children meals at school? If Moi could give milk to the whole of the country, why can't Ruto give food to children? Hizi pesa wanatumianga za MPs na senators ati wanakama wajia na huko wanapewa ati. Do you know they make over 1 million a month in travel allowance? Ati because of distance from Nairobi to where they live. Why can't you take all that money out? Yani tunaweza kaa chini tuone what do we need to take out from all this spending all this mandazi mnakula kwa ofisi. You have your income. This is a third world country. No more break. There's no newspaper, nothing in the office. Let us go and pay a nurse. Why are we transporting people outside? And huku Kenya hakuna doctors. Watu wanakufa mahospitali. Kwa nini tusi-make sure hata tufanyie hao watu wafanyaende shule free? We get enough nurses. We get enough doctors. So many people have dropped out of school because their parents could not afford. Why can't we make, kama huku kuna GED, why can't we make adult education diploma for them? We create teachers and then we create employed people. Before we ati sasa tunawapeleka NIS ndio tuwapeleke nje. How can a president, by the way, he should be impeached? How can you go to build another country before you build yours? How, Jakes, can you go to help your neighbor? Unaenda kwa familia neighbor yako kuwasaidia kubuild familia yako na yako iko improvised. Ametuuliza suggestions za kubuild Kenya tukashindwa kutoa pesa. Hao watu wote wameiba pesa, kwa nini warudishi? Why is he saying if Singapore did it, if South Korea did it, we can do it? Did their leaders steal all the money? Eurobond hata yeye aliiba. I know that for a fact. They need to return the money so we can grow our country. Now, there is something I talked about Ruto, Raila. When I said he needs a mental checkup, sikumaanisha yuko na ubaya. I just meant when someone has gone through so much hardship like he did, it can interfere with your psychology. So I don't know, after he was tortured, after he went all that he went through, that he was seen by somebody just to make sure that he was okay. So I hope I do not get mtu asini confused alisema nilitukana nikasema he's not mentally capable. I say just because if someone goes through something tragic, if some people go to war, if some people get in a bad situation or like the situation he had, it is advisable to see a psychologist, a psychiatrist after that. So, because some people get tormented, they get nightmares, it affects their life, it affects their character, it affects how they look at things. Because if you look at how Raila was earlier and how he is now, he's mellowed. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe they mellowed him. And that was what they wanted to do. Once you mellow somebody, it is easy for you to use them as you want and to control them. So that was my thing. Last and not least, I think the question, Jeff, Jakes, is what can Mwananchi? This is what I think Mwananchi can do. We keep saying the government should do this, the government, you can't force them. So we actually need to do something ourselves. What can we do? We can try and target one leader that is not doing right, our MPs. We take one home. And I think this forum needs to have a think tank. And we start an action group. And say this MP, there is an MP whose people keep dying in his constituency. What has he done? Let us gather all these people and chase him away. Let us stay without an MP. If the IEBC has no one to replace, we remove him. That is, when you do that, you will put them on notice and they will know you're not playing. Ukiwaambia tufanyie kama mtoto, they are grown-ups. Let me tell you, one time in college, this is what the lecturer used to say. In high school, kama ufanyi kazi yako, you get in trouble. In college, even though you go and sleep, the teacher doesn't ask you, guess what? You fail. And that's the same as government. They're adults. We don't have to keep telling them. It's nothing they don't know. What we need is to bite. And when you start acting, then they will know you're not playing. The problem with us, we keep asking them, so they think we are dada hands. And as long as we keep looking like we are weak, they will continue taking advantage of us. But if you start removing one MP or two of them, target the most weak ones and get them out. Target a governor who you know is weak. Si huyu wa Meru, huyo ni wa kuwekelewa. Ule hafanyi kazi, ule ameiba pesa, target him as people. Unaenda kwa ofisi yake mnakatalia hapo, mnaenda kwa nyumba yake mnaenda basi nyingi mnakaa hapo over and over again until they get him out. I think when you do that, they will start fearing the people. What our leaders don't do is fear the people. Our strategy should be, instead of coming to talk where they are going tomorrow, what can care? Imagine Jex kama uko na hakuna mtu anashughulika kile unafanya. We give them oxygen. Take away the oxygen from them. And now let's regroup and say, what do we do to get these people to notice us? Once they notice us, then they will start to fear us. Kila wamekosa ni fear from the citizens. Now we need to know what we need to do so that they can fear us, because they work for us. How do we show them they work for us? How do we bite so that they can feel the pain? That is my question.
Kuna mtu hapa Ashley anasema uongee hadi turuke mwaka. I think you have already caused a star hapa kwa comment section. People are saying speak on Ashley, speak on. Kuna anasema I think it's time to let Ashley go. Go Ashley go. Kuna mwingine anasema hapa nini? Ashley, you are saying the truth. Go girl. Nakwambia hapa comment section mwasha moto. But Mzalendo seems not to be biting. Mzalendo, what is it? Mzalendo, are you there? Mzalendo, are you there? Can you hear me? All right. Now, even as I come back to allow you guys to give your closing remarks and wish many Kenyans a happy new year, despite all this is what Kenyans hapa chini wanasema, and this I played Jana, but I choose to end with. Yeah, I was talking to you. I heard you almost not agreeing with Ashley. What did you want to say?
No, I think Ashley lives in an imaginary world, you know, an imagination of Kenya, a US in Kenya. All the systems that he's talking about is what he is seeing where he's staying. But she doesn't know the teething problems that we have in our country. She doesn't know how the system works here in the US or where she is. You know, like she's talking about, how about the county, how about the national government providing buses for schools so that schools can go, so that children can go to school. But you imagine, first, we don't have the infrastructure. You know, there are things that the government is working on right now. And again, the Kenyan, the 2010 constitution has not really fully addressed the devolution. There are things that you might think that there are services provided by the national government, like the school buses she's talking about. Those school buses are run by the county government. Those are run by the county government. The boards in those particular schools are elective. It is in the Constitution of America, or it is in the Constitution that they go through an election. The sheriff in that particular county is elected by the people. They are not people who are appointed. So these are people who work for the people. So for a country that has had independence for 100 years, you should read and see when they started their first bus, the problems that they had. The problems that they had and these similar problems that we are having right now. Are we working towards a solution to them? Yes, we are. But there are things that we cannot implement in Kenya. Like when you say, okay, let's have nurses in all. In my rural village, there is no window or even a door. Where will the nurse even have is the clinic? There are no books or even a pencil. So you are talking about things that cannot be achieved in
Orlando,
reality at
can I
this
interject?
particular moment. But in future, yes, they can. But now, no, they can't. Yeah.
Can I interject you?
Actually, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, you see, that's why I said we have no business sending our youth, our workforce outside. We have so much work to do and we have so much money. Uhuru by himself has 30 trillion saved up in some foreign account that we know of. The government can demand its citizen return the money they have outside of the country so we can do what we need to move our country forward. What Ruto has done is bully the small man that has no power instead of concentrating on those people who have stolen to return the money, on those people who have evaded tax, like the lady from Nakuru that is now a senator, to pay up or get liquidity. You know, like if you haven't paid, there is no arrangement because our government is broke. You either pay or we take all your things and sell them to someone else who will pay the money. So he's saying ni lazima ifanyike, lakini yeye takuja kwa tule tumtutu wa chini au ndio anafinyilia, while the people, the culprit ni wale wako hapo, his peers. If he has enough balls, let him address the problem at the point. These pesa ziko old because people have stolen. He knows that, and he can even by executive order form a committee of judges to discuss those cases and finish them within 2 months and get back our money from the COVID millionaires, from Eurobond, from the oil scandal. This is money that can come back and actually do the things that we are talking about. America may have taken long because they didn't know. You know, one of the answers people give when they, like Julie on the other show, anaulizwa, when people go, like those people who go out for teaching, they are told you have to go back to your country and take the best practices. Hakuna need yao kusema wanaenda benchmarking, wacha wakuja hapa Mutembei tuwapatie. It is not things that cannot be done. I'm not telling them to mine gold because there is no gold mine in Kenya. I am telling them things that are actually practically, that just need goodwill to do it. It is possible. It is where there is money. Just people who have stolen need to return the money. The waste in the government needs to stop, and we can actually build. Uko kwenye ushago, uko unasema hakuna jobs. Imagine we can build it where now they have even a shopping center. Because on top of that, I even forgot to add, we can have cleaners in the schools. Because if we have a caterer cooking, there are people serving the kids food. So your mother can get a job to clean or to cook. People, catering colleges will spring up because people will start learning how to cook because they will look for a school to cook in. Our old people, most of them are dying in homes. We can build homes for old people. We can train people to take care of these old people. Nurses will become more in those old homes. Caregivers will become more in old households. There is money. We just are not.
Yes. Or whatever you are saying is true. The only thing that how practical is it in the present Kenya? The answer is when you're talking about Uhuru's money or the money that he has stashed outside there, getting first the laws to bring back that money. That country where these people bank their money, it is impossible to get that money. You should also know that. So and again, it is family money. When you say Uhuru has stolen, then the money that is being reported in the Pandora Papers is called Uhuru's family has got trillions, I don't know, billions touched in Panama accounts somewhere. So it is difficult to get this kind of money back. Otherwise, the golden bag scandals and all that, a lot of money was lost.